Next muscle is the biceps femoris. The origin of the long head is ischial tuberosity, and the origin of the short head is the lateral lip of the linea aspera. It's the upper 2/3 of the supracondylar line. Insertion for both is the lateral fibular head and the lateral tibial condyle. Action is knee flexion, external tibial rotation, and the long head helps with hip extension and hip external rotation. The next muscle is the semimembranosus. The origin is the ischial tuberosity. Comes down, and its insertion is the posterior medial portion of the tibia's medial condyle. Its action is knee flexion, internal tibial rotation, hip extension, and hip internal rotation. The next muscle is the semitendinosus. Its origin again is the ischial tuberosity. Comes down, and its insertion point is the medial portion of the tibial flare. The action is knee flexion, internal tibial rotation, hip extension, and hip internal rotation. Next muscle is the sartorius. The origin is the anterior superior iliac spine. It comes straight across, and its insertion point is the proximal portion of the anteromedial tibial flare. The action is knee flexion, internal tibial rotation, hip flexion, hip abduction, and hip external rotation. Manual muscle test for the quads is the same for all 4 parts of the quad. I'm going to have you extend your leg out to me, just straighten it out. Put my hand under here. I'm going to push down, don't let me break you. I'm going to hold it for 5 seconds. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, you can relax. The next manual muscle test is for the hamstrings. It is the same for all 3 parts of the hamstring. So I'm going to have you bend your leg up for me. I'm going to pull away from you. I need you to not let me break you. I'm going to hold it for 5 seconds. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, you can relax. Next manual muscle test is for the sartorius. I like to say, just tell the patient to look at the poop on the shoe. So I'm going to have you look at that, and I'm just going to pull away. Don't let me break you. I'm going to hold it for 5 seconds. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Relax. Okay, the first muscle is the psoas major. The origin is the transverse process of T12 through L5. The origin is the lesser trochanter of the femur, and the action is hip flexion. For the manual muscle test, I'm going to have the patient extend his leg, flex his hip, laterally rotate his hip, and a little bit of abduction. Okay, and for this I'm going to put my hand, stabilize the opposite crest, and I'm going to push through. Don't let me break you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next muscle is the gluteus maximus. The origin is the posterior sacrum, ilium, and superior gluteal line. Insertion is the gluteal tuberosity and the IT band. Action is hip extension and external rotation. For the manual muscle test, I'm going to have the patient flex his knee and extend his hip. Support right here, and I'm going to push down. Don't let me break you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. The next muscle is the gluteus medius. Its origin is the iliac crest and the interior gluteal line. The insertion is the lateral greater trochanter, which is right here, of the femur. Its action is hip abduction and internal rotation of the hip. So for the manual muscle test, I'm going to have the patient bend this leg and have the other hip in flexion. I'm going to have him laterally rotate this hip. And I'm going to push down and I'm going to support him on right beside the greater trochanter. Ready? Don't let me break you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And relax. The next muscle is the gluteus minimus. Origin is posterior ilium between the inferior and middle lines. The insertion is the greater trochanter of the femur. Actually, it's the anterior surface of that. And then the action is hip abduction, abduction, and internal rotation. For manual muscle test, I'm going to have the patient put his leg in abduction. And we'll push down, and don't let me break you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. And the The next muscle is the pectineus. The origin is the anterior pubis. The insertion is the pectineal line of the femur, and its action is hip adduction. For this, I'm gonna patient keep his leg neutral. I'm gonna try to pull it up. Don't let me break you. Ready?
Go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. The next muscle is the adductor longus. Its origin is the pubic symphysis. The insertion is the linea aspera, and the action is hip adduction and internal rotation. Also gonna do the adductor brevis. The origin is the ramus. The insertion is also the linea aspera, and the action is also hip adduction and internal rotation. The manual muscle test is gonna be the same as it was for this pectineus. I'm gonna support the patient here. I'm gonna pull his leg up. Don't let me break you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Next muscle is the gracilis. The origin is the symphysis pubis, and the inferior ramus of the pubic bone. Insertion is the proximal portion of the anteromedial tibial flare, and the action is knee flexion, internal tibial rotation, and hip adduction. The manual muscle test is going to be the same as before. Let me break you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next muscle is TFL. The origin is the iliac crest and the ASIS. Insertion is the IT band under the Gerdy's tubercle and head of the fibula. The action is hip abduction, flexion, and internal rotation. For the manual muscle test, I'm going to have the patient flex his hip, abduct, and internal rotation. Report right here, and I'm going to push down. Don't let me break you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax.